Alright, this is the homework for Module 3, Lesson 4. The directions say for the following problems, draw a picture using the rectangular fraction model and write the answer. When possible, write your answer as a mixed number. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I went ahead and I made my rectangular fraction models. This one is for 3/4. I broke it up into 4 pieces. Out of the 4 pieces, I have 3, so I have 3 out of 4, or 3/4. For 1/3, I went ahead and I broke up my my model into 3 pieces, and out of those 3, I have 1 piece shaded in, so I have 1 out of 3, or 1/3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to partition both holes into units of the same size. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swap my pieces. So how many parts do we need to make? Well, we can go ahead and just bring over these pieces and break this up into 3. And then take the 4 pieces over here and break these up into 4 pieces. And that will make them so that we have the same number of units, or what we call a common denominator. So in this case, our common denominator, we can either go ahead and say 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and I can do 4 times 3, which is 12, or I can count how many I have in my hole, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 in this hole. And out of the 12, how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Therefore, I have 9/12. This one I have 12 in this hole. How many of these 12 do I have colored in? I have 4. Therefore, 9/12 plus 4/12 equals 13/12. Well, 13/12 I know is bigger than a hole because I have 12 in one hole. So how many 12ths make a hole? So if I have 12 in a hole, how many do I have to have to one hole? That would be 12. And then how many would I have left over? I would have 1/12 left over. So 12/12 equals 1 hole plus, I'm sorry, not plus. You already have that. So I have 1 hole and 1/12. So my answer is 1 and 1/12. Okay, go ahead and try B. And then C, I'm going to go ahead and work on C next. So C is 1/3 plus 3/5. So again, I'm going to go ahead and create my rectangular area model. I'm going to do 1/3 first, which means I'm going to break it up into 3 pieces, because my denominator tells me how many I have. And then I'm going to go ahead and shade in 1 out of the 3 because I have 1/3. And this is 1/3. For 3/5, I'm going to draw my model. And because my denominator is 5, I'm going to go ahead and break up my hole into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my numerator tells me that I have 3 out of the 5, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color in 3. So this is 3 out of the 5, or 3/5. But I need to make my units the same, because I can only add them when they're the same. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this up into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to break this one up into 3 pieces. So now I have all of the same pieces. This one is, now I have in my hole, I have 15. Out of my 15, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded. This one I have, again, I have 15, and out of the 15, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shaded. So 5/15 plus 9/15, that equals 14/15. Just want to make sure I did this correctly, because I'm not perfect and I do make mistakes sometimes. But 14/15. Is 14 the same or bigger than 15? No, so that means that this is a fraction that's less than 1. So this is my answer. Okay, go ahead and go to D. I have 5/6 plus 1/2. So I will go ahead and make my area model for 5 out of 6. So I have 6 pieces in my hole. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And out of the 6, I have 5 that I need to color in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my 1/2, I'm going to go ahead and draw my area model. And I'm going to go ahead and break it up into a 1/2 or 2 pieces. So this one, and color in 1 out of that 1/2. This one is 1/2. This one is 5/6. Well, I need to make my units the same, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this one up into a 1/2. And I'm going to break this one up into 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to notice that I still made my lines going the same way. It doesn't matter, just as long as you know how to break them up into different pieces. Now my total number of pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And out of that 12, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 colored in. Plus, out of this 12, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colored in. 10 twelfths plus 6 twelfths equals 16 twelfths. And with 16 twelfths, it is larger than a whole. How many twelfths do I need to make one whole? Well, I need 12 twelfths. But how many do I have left over? Because I need for it to be 16 twelfths. In order for it to be 16 twelfths, it's 12 twelfths plus 4 twelfths. And that would give me my 16 twelfths. Now I have 12 twelfths, which equals 1/4. I have 1 whole. I have 4 twelfths left over. Okay, we need to simplify this though even more. We've been working on this. You look at 4 twelfths. I need to break it down even more, which means can I divide it by 1 whole, or a fraction that equals 1 whole? Well, I can divide 4 and 12 by 4, both of them by 4. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get the same units in each one. So because 1 whole here was broken up into 3 pieces, I'm going to go ahead and break up this one that represents 4/7 and break that up into 3 pieces. And this one that represents 4/3, I'm actually going to break it up into 7 pieces. But I need to break up each whole into 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And then so now, instead of having 4/3 plus 4/7, my 4/3, my whole, I now have 21 units. And out of my 21 units, I have a whole 21 plus 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I have 28 21s plus, in this one, I have 21 total units. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 21s. 28 21s plus 12 21s is 40 21s. And now that I look at this, I know that 40 21s is bigger than 1 whole. So, how many, if I have 21s, how many make a whole? 21 plus how many are left over? And you can just do the math really quickly. You might have to do 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and so forth. It's totally up to you. So one way that I did it is I go 21, 31, so that's 10. And then from 31 to 40, I know is 9, so 10 plus 9 gives me 19. So 21 21s plus 19 21s will give me 40 21s. So then I go ahead and I'm going to change my 21 21s into one whole, and then I still have my 19 21s. So my answer for this problem, nope, there it is. 4/3 plus 4/7 is 1 and 19 21s. Okay, so on the back side, the word problems, we're going to go ahead and it says Sam made 2/3 liters of punch and 3/4 liters of tea to take to a party. How many liters of beverage did Sam bring to the party? And so I went ahead and I circled my numbers that I need, and they want to know how many he brought, so a total. So remember, in my class we have to do 4 things for every word problem. The first one is a tape diagram, so I started it for you. We have 2/3 punch, and they also brought in 3/4 tea. So all together, this would be how much beverage he brought, and these are liters, so you also want to have your units. Okay, the second part of a word problem is that you have to write down what is your operation, what is your problem. So we have 2/3 plus 3/4. Okay, the third part is to actually find the answer. So we have 2/3 plus 3/4. And in order to find my answer, I'm going to go ahead and draw an area model for both of my fractions so that I can add them. And the reason that I do that is because my denominators are different. So this breaks it up into 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. And out of those 3 parts, I have 2 parts. So I'm going to go ahead and just color in 2. 3/4, that means I have 4 parts in a whole. And out of those 4 parts, and I have 3. I have 3 out of the 4, or 3/4. So this represents 2/3, and this one represents 3/4. Well, I need to make these units the same. So I need to go ahead and bring these 4 parts over here and break these up into 4 parts. And then take these original 3 parts and break this up into 3 parts. So now how many units do I have in my whole? I can count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. Or I can just count each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And out of those 12 units, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 out of 12, or 8/12. Plus, out of these 12, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9/12. So 8/12 plus 9/12 is 17/12. And again, I see that I have a fraction that is larger than a whole, because in order to have one whole, there's a total of 12 units in a whole, and to have one whole, I would need 12 units. But I have 17 units, therefore I have, how many more units in order to go from 12 to 17? That would be 5. So I have 5 units left over. So 12/12 plus 5/12 is my 17/12. But I need to change this into a mixed number. So my 12/12 equals 1 whole, and I have my 5/12 left over. I'm not done yet. I need step 4. And step 4 is actually the answer in sentence form, because it is a word problem. Okay, excuse me, I just need to move my camera just a second. And so the question was, how many liters of beverage did Sam bring to the party? Sam brought, and here is my answer over here, 1 5/12 liters of beverage to the party. Okay. And there is my answer. And that's, but each part is needed for a word problem. Okay. And last question, or last problem. Mr. Sinofsky used 5/8 of a tank of gas, so 5/8 of a tank of gas on a trip to visit relatives for the weekend, and another 1/2 of a tank commuting to work the next week. He then took another weekend trip and used 1/4 of a tank. How many tanks of gas did Mr. Sinofsky use altogether? And this word right here is also a clue word, altogether. So you want to know how much tanks of gas used altogether. Well, I have 5/8, and this one says 1/2, but it's not really in fraction form. So right above it, I'm actually going to write that in a fraction, and there it is, 1/2, because that's what I'm going to be working with. And 1/4 tanks. Well, now I'm working with 3 fractions. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and do a tape diagram, because that's what I do first. I have 5/8 gas, and I have 1/2 gas, and I have 1/4, and this is all the gas. And so step 2 is to put them into an operation. So I have 5/8 plus 1/2 plus 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and solve my problem. And I'm going to go ahead and do it right here. Sorry. So when I have 3 fractions, instead of trying to add them all together all at the same time, because sometimes fractions can get a little goofy, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 2 at a time, and then once I get my sum for that, I'll go ahead and add the other one. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 5/8 plus 1/2. Nah, you know what? I see something here, and I'm going to explain it to you in a bit, but instead of doing that, I'm going to change my mind. Because I kind of see these denominators, and I know that they're all multiples of 8. We have 8, 2, I know 2 times 4 is 8, and 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm actually going to do these 2, because I bet you my denominator is going to be an 8. But either way, so because of that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 1/2 plus 1/4. So this is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to show my area model. And I'm going to break this up into 1/2. And I'm going to color in my 1/2. And then I'll show my model for 1/4. I'm going to break it up into 4 pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and just color in 1 out of those 4. And this is 1/4. So now I'm going to take this 1/2 and I'm going to break this up in my other one into a half. I'm going to take these 4 pieces and break this up into 4 pieces. And now I have, instead of 1/2, I now have 8 pieces, or 8 units, and out of those 8 units I have 4 colored in. So 1/2 is equal to 4/8, and now I have 8 units and 2 are colored in. So 4/8 plus 2/8 is 6/8, and I still have to add it to my 5/8. So, and this is part of 3 right there. So I have 5/8 plus 6/8, which is, I don't have to change my units because my units are the same. Remember, I told you I was thinking that they probably would be. If they weren't, don't worry about it. You'd still come up with the same answer. 5/8 plus 6/8 is 11/8. Oh, but I see that my numerator is larger than my denominator, so I know that it's more than 1. So if I have 8 units in a whole, out of the 8 units, in order to have 1 whole, I would need 8 units. And I originally need 11 units, so 8 units to get to 11 units, 8, 9, 10, 11, so I have 3/8. So 8/8 plus 3/8 should give me 11/8. I need to change this into a mixed number. 8/8 is 1 whole, and 3/8 is left over. Because it's a word problem, my step 4 is writing it into a sentence. The question said, how many tanks of gas did Mr. Sinofsky use altogether? So, Mr. Sinofsky used, and there's my answer, 1 3/8 tanks of gas, period. And there is my answer. So don't let it freak you out that you have 3 fractions. It's okay, just do it like you normally do, add 2, and then once you find the answer to that one, add the third one. I do want to apologize for breaks in between some of the problems. My memory stick got overloaded and I'd have to keep stopping and downloading it, but since these are my first videos, sooner or later I'll get the hang of it and they'll come out smoothly. Have a good night.